and everything.
Yeah, my setup I'm working on right now. I'm not even in the 29s at all. At the start, not even in 29s. My fastest lap was a 30.264.
Right.
That's bad. Yeah, well, the problem is though is that once you get in traffic, you're gonna get extremely tight because that dirty air is gonna come right on your nose. But the good thing about this track is there's multiple racing groups. You got the top, you got the bottom.
In the
You
middle.
want to stay on the bottom as long as possible until you need to pass somebody, and then you need to go up top, or you can start at the middle and then work your way up to the top. You can't. I mean, it's gonna be hard to go. The problem with the top line is the top line burns off tires extremely fast. If I told you what my campers are right now, you'd probably laugh. My lefts are at 2, my rights are at 3.
I'll go in here.
They're very low.
Let's see, but that's
Yeah,
yeah.
I
My
told you. I told you dumped the VRS a long time ago. You want the bad news about that? They can see it also. You anytime. That's the reason why I don't use it. You don't want to share anything with anybody. Any, I did. I made a data set last week. Late. I'm talking about. I had one late last week. I made one, and I was like, man, this thing. It's rough. And so I practiced a ton of laps and traffic, and I finally got it. I finally found something that, yeah. I won 2 races with it, one NIS with it and one Class A with it. I was in my 100% league. Remember I told you it's rough?
yeah.
I was the only car in the 47s the entire race. Only car. So I found something in the setups on the super speedways where
Well,
the rear end does not move at all when someone gets up to you. It's planted. So I was going so much faster than everybody else.
this one.
I'll tell you this. I was leading the leaders. I mean, the guy behind me, the big old long line behind me, could not get to my bumper at all. Zero. They never got to my bumper. Not one time. And I was going like 205, 204, 205, 206 in the corner. And I mean, on the straightaways, they could not get to my bumper at all. And all I had on was 52% tape.
See, that's why we need you and Randy need to start sitting down and doing setups. I mean, because you guys would be awesome. And I'd be able to sit there and drive, but I mean, that's all I can do is drive. I'll pay for the track time for that. And then we can have some more, and then we can get rid of VRS stuff. I think that would be cool.
The problem with VRS is anytime you use their I call it movie. I call it the telemetry, whatever you call it. I call that movie. Because when you look at the graph, all it is a bunch of quicker lines and stuff. I call it movies. I call it I'm watching a movie. So anytime you use that on their stuff, they have access to that also. Everything you do, anything all your lap
What
times,
you're
all
running
your
better, if you're running
everything.
better than them, and they're like,
Yes,
okay, let me look at. Oh,
they can look at all of it. So I don't use it at all. I I mean, sometimes I use the movie, sometimes I don't. Last week I didn't. Last week I didn't need to last week.
yeah.
But some day, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I use the graphs, and sometimes I don't. It just depends on what I feel.
It depends on what I. If I go out to the track and I see somebody way faster than me, then I'm going to go in there and look and see what I'm doing that's different. You know, I use them things to try to figure out if I'm losing time in this part of the corner. Okay, so what am I doing there that's different than somebody else? You know, that's all I look at on that stuff is just see where I'm running compared to everybody else, because you can go out there and you can run a whole bunch of qualifying laps, but you know what? It's still not going to change your race stuff any.
Yeah, sometimes I only look at lap time. Sometimes I just worry about me.
Yeah, I just sit there and just watch how I'm driving around people. If I'm smooth and I'm quicker and I'm quick, then I'm fine. You know, the quickest car is not always going to win. In fact, it rarely ever does. It's the guy that's being smooth and the guy that's saving his car. I mean, like you got guys spinning in the infield all over the place.
Yep. Some tracks don't be fast at. Some tracks you do not want to be fast at. Atlanta, you want to be fast.
You got to be fast.
You want to be fast. Kansas, you do not want to be fast. Chicagoland, you do not want to be fast. Pocono, Pocono's a little different.
You want the straightaways fast,
Yeah.
but you want your corners handling like here.
Yeah.
And it's tough because there's 3 different corners. Yeah, none of them are the same.
No, it's actually mainly Jared. I think that I kind of got in his way a little bit.
California.
Michigan's the fast track.
Michigan, you want to be fast. Michigan, you want to be very, very fast.
And then Darlington, you just got to be smooth.
Yeah,
you got to manage your tires.
Darlington is not about speed whatsoever. Darlington is about handling.
It's about getting.
Yeah, that place eats up tires like it's nothing.
And then Phoenix, you can be fast on the straightaways, but the corners you got to have handling. If you don't have good handling, and the tires are going to fall off. It's like toilet paper out there to them. I mean, it just takes everything off. And then Bristol is a fast track that you have to have handling in.
Yeah, short tracks are different though.
Different animals altogether.
Yeah, short tracks about speed or short track. You want to be fast or short track. I'm not a big fan. I'm a big fan of some short tracks, not all of them.
I like Bristol because it drives like a track that's twice as big as what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't drive like a small track, other than that there's no room anywhere.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm glad I lifted.
That's because you had your arm thing at medium. I mean minimum. You're probably losing out on probably 2,000 downforce just at that medium. Well, it's not really.
shit, man. Watch out, Neil.
Sorry, Nine, I must have got the wall.
That's probably because you're in the.
Tight.
Yeah, you're going to because of the draft. That's why I wouldn't push hard, because when you're around other cars, you're gonna use up more tire and you're gonna use up all your stuff. Lay back, relax, and also whenever you're in a bunch of pack, if you run a lot of tape, what I do is I run a ton of tape. That way I can't push. It stops you from pushing early in the run. I'm running 57 right now. You just gotta put guidelines in, you know what I mean? Put a lot of tape on, that way you can't push.
Wow. Follow that up. How?
God damn it.
Suck it up the face, right? So anyone want to claim that caution?
I think Danielle hit the wall and then she stopped on track.
Does that sound accurate, Danielle?
Barrett, catch Phil, please. She already left the room.
10-4.
Start looking for your sign. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop on the sign.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I heard you, James.
Dad, type something in the chat. Tell me if you can hear me. Okay, cool. And I can see whenever you say something now. I had it muted, and whenever I hit it, I checked, because I've been telling you to type something this whole time, and you haven't, so...
Damn, Barrett, you ain't blinking. Two tires doing pretty good, ain't they?
I don't know about the setup though. I think it might be too slow on the short run. And Dalton says that my arrow is not good either. He said that it gets too tight.
$99, you blinking, bub. How bad? Looks like he's trying to save tires.
Okay.
Drop a
Gotta get all I can
Going
get.
down
I just
on
make my
the,
heat and that close to the straight to save my
ballast
tires.
forward, right? Going down would make it loose. Will loosen it up just a tad
Correct.
bit.
Yes.
Going up makes it tighter.
Correct.
All right, just make it.
You never want it at 40. 40 is way too much.
Yeah, no, I'm at 20, 24.
I don't think I'm at 22. I think.
Just make this a little bit looser for, and if I go up on the right side track bar, that will make it looser coming out of the corner, but tighter coming in, or
Yeah, I do probably need to make the rear spoiler a little bit lower.
you can change them,
yeah.
but the easiest way how to fix the overall control of your car is the ballast. Ballast is the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
If you want it looser on exit, just go down a half a pound on the left rear tire pressure.
Okay. All right.
Usually, once you have the track bar set, you kind of just want to. Yeah, if it feels comfortable with you with track bar the way it is, I just leave them alone. It's mess around with tire pressure and then the ballast. The ballast is my first thing. It's the first thing I mess with to loosen or tighten it. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that and put it to 16 to 1.
The ballast is the easiest thing to do.
Because Denise was saying that when she got around Neil was behind her, was near her. Her car just got to where it didn't want to turn. And I was
Yeah,
like,
it's dirty air.
Yeah.
That's
so
why.
She wasn't using mine, was she?
No, she was using mine.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna loosen it up.
That's why
now.
anytime you make a setup, you always, if there's AIs available, you make it AI. That way you can test the dirty air at the same time.
Oh, really? I never really thought of that.
Yep.
I tried to do that, but I couldn't get the AIs to be the right difficulty to where they didn't just shoot off for me and leave me by myself.
No, jack it all the way up.
What the?
That's what I do. Oh yeah, that's what I do, man. Jack them all the way up.
Yeah, but whenever I do that, they just leave me and I'm out by myself instead of in the group with them.
No, there's gonna be. The way I said it is I think it's 90 to the max. There's always somebody on the track whenever I'm out there. Always. Set it to the max amount of people.
Oh, you just do a practice session.
Yep, practice session. There's always a car around you. Because there's no point in making a setup when there's no dirty air because it's wasting your time. You gotta test that dirty air.
Yeah, that's why we always try to have at least 4 of us in there.
Yeah, they're getting away from me. I might have something in the long run, but I definitely don't have anything in the short run.
I had a Pro set from last year for Kansas. I loaded that thing up, failed massively. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
sucks when you have a good setup
Oh yeah.
and then you can't use it anymore.
Let every
That's
lap.
what happened. I had a whole bunch of good setups for Daytona and that Talladega. They were beautiful. Drive everywhere. You know, all you had to do was just pick where you wanted to be, and then when they did that new draft model, it just went out the window. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, poop.
Yeah, I led every lap last year in the NIS at Kansas, but 2 laps.
Good racing that one.
Killed the field. We had like a 12-second lead.
Yep.
And then I loaded that sucker up on Saturday night and it failed. I'm like, oh, come on.
I do not have anything on the long run. Let me get this car around me and I'll read what you said.
Chris, I swear to Christ, you're the Ryan Newman of this league.
This feels better.
Uh-oh. What I do?
You just the hardest part. I can catch you. I do it all the time. But to pass you, I wear my shit out trying to get around you.
I was about screaming the same thing last night during Xfinity.
Dang, I thought I was the Newman.
Nah.
No, everybody's just scared to go around you so they don't drop.
No, you're the Danica Patrick.
Yeah,
No, I'm more like Joey Logano.
I didn't want their tires to come in and then be like super faster.
And that ain't a
they would definitely be faster than me at
complaint.
the
It's more of a
beginning.
compliment. I mean,
And they were changing
it's
their
always
tires
clean.
too,
It's just
so
very hard to get around you.
Okay, I'm here, dude.
he's talking about Chris right here in the number 10 that I'm trying to get around right now.
Donnie, you can blame it on the other guys. They told me to be more aggressive, so I'm trying to race a little harder.
I don't think this setup has anything. But I kind of figured that going in. I also bought a new microphone. It should be coming in pretty soon. And it's like a professional microphone with the noise poofs and like people use for podcasts and stuff. But anyway, I went into this race feeling like the setup wasn't really going to be worth a damn. But I wanted to see where I would place with it in a practice session where there was no chance of me losing I rating or anything. All I know is it's better than what I started with, so I'm counting that as a win. I've only got 18 laps on these tires, and I'm starting to fall off a lot. It's pretty tight now. 20 laps in. I probably need to make it a little bit looser in the beginning.
There's a wall out there.
Don't be trying my line acting like it's fast. Oh, come on. My bad. No caution. Let's go.
Chris, take the inside. Take the inside, Chris. I'm struggling.
My bad, 23, my bad.
Sorry about cutting it close there, Alan. Got on the apron. Or, not Alan, Thomas. You're welcome, Joseph. What for? I saw you start using my line.
Yeah, I was just not filling the bottom. I didn't even know you were running the top.
Hey Dalton, are you still in here?
Yeah.
My dad was wanting to know what y'all were talking in the background earlier about the spoiler, and he said something about you agreeing for something on the back spoiler to be 22%. What were y'all talking about the back spoiler?
No, we were talking about the ballast.
Oh.
Ballast forward, yeah, ballast forward. Mine's at 22%. No, mine's at 20%.
Damn it, Thomas. I got you on Alpha 3 and 4, but you got me in 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll work on the ballast on mine when this race is over and the truck race is over. Because I did change it to 30 inches or whatever, and it got real loose. I couldn't keep it on the track for longer than about 12 laps.
Yeah, that means it's too low. Bump it up.
My car's not walled up the bottom, Alan. That's why I'm running up top more.
35. But like I said earlier,
I'm
move it up
struggling.
one,
I can't go bottom there. I'll...
32, move it up on full point. Do 10 laps. Look how it feels. Look at the tire wear also. If you're loose, you'll burn off that right rear pretty quick. So what I do is I move it up 1 point, do 10 laps. Move it another point, do 10 laps. Another point, 10 laps until it looks good. But remember, you do not want to be burning up that right rear. That's where you're gonna lose all that speed from not pushing early.
Yeah, that was what my problem was whenever I did that. Was even when I did keep it on track, I would spin out so much I'd burn up the tire, and I wouldn't have any speed anymore because I got loose too many times during the run.
If you're that loose, go down 2 clicks on the right rear ride height, and it'll pop
I think my rake isn't right yet either.
Yeah, it does. Well, you want more rake here. You don't. You want more. You don't want the max, but you do want a little bit.
So whenever I lowered my front end, I didn't mess with my back end hardly at all. I lowered it a little bit, but I didn't lower it proportionally.
Well, how'd you lower it though? You do both at the same time, or you just do
Yeah,
both sides?
I did both at the same time.
Yeah. Well, like I told you, I think a couple weeks ago, you always want to mess with the front first, then back next. But you had your arm, front ARB arm at minimal. And you're losing so much speed and so much downforce that it's crazy.
I have it set to 3 now in this race right now, but I'm still not doing all that great.
Well, good thing about though is that it's still early in the week, so.
Yeah, I thought that I had the front end done right because I got it to where the front splitter was almost hitting the ground in the corners, and then after that I got the left side and right side ride height to equalize in the corner. So whenever you get in the corner, it sits flat. But I haven't done anything beyond that though. I haven't messed with the springs, and I lowered the rear ride height just a little bit to make up for how much I lowered the front.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what the rear is. You can lower the front end all you want. Well, when you see those pictures, your front end wasn't even maxed out to the low it possibly will go because it wasn't yellow. When the spring deflection turns yellow, that means you have it as low as it'll actually go without hitting. So.
Oh, the spring deflection already was like I brought it down to where the spring deflection was yellow. Then I removed some packer to free up some spring deflection, and then I lowered it some more.
But why though?
Because I don't know what I'm doing, and I was just trying to see what it does.
Yeah. So basically, when it turns yellow, when the left front and the right front both turn yellow, leave it alone. Okay. It's not going to hit. It's only going to hit on the first couple laps is what you want. Once the tire pressures get heat in them, when the tires get heat in them, it'll raise the car off the ground, and you're not going to be hitting as much. You probably won't hit at all. Kind of like a Dega and Daytona, you want to be dragging the rear.
2-car pitting next time.
First
2-car pitting next time.
First couple laps, because once the tire temps get up,
71 pitting in this lap. Pitting in this lap. 71 pitting in.
Out the ground. The same thing here. The way this package is, at this track, you want your rear end to be not flat. So what I believe you did was you lowered the front end, which is correct. You're supposed to do that, absolutely. But when you lowered the rear end down, you took all that front downforce and you raised that front end back up again.
Oh no! Whenever I brought the rear end down, I made sure to take notes of where the front was, and whenever I moved the rear, I made sure to put the fronts back to where they were before I moved the rear.
Yeah, because you want that front end to be as low as possible. And if it drags a little bit, first couple laps, so be it. Not going to hurt you. Like I said earlier, the first 10 laps, you do not want to be pushing at all. None. First 10 laps. And if you're dragging, guess what? That's going to stop you from pushing. So that's a plus. But you don't want that. You do not want that rear end low. You do not want it low. Not here. So the way it works is this. You want as much downforce on the front end as you possibly can, no matter what. At this track, you want, the way it works is downforce is in pounds. So you want as much pounds of downforce you can on the front end as possible. That gives you more speed. Here, and it gives you more speed and gives you more handling. Okay? But if you want your rear end flat, you're going to burn those tires off like it's nothing. Remember last year, I don't know if you watched NASCAR?
I just started watching NASCAR this year.
Okay, well last year Kevin Harvick won a ton of races. What Kevin Harvick was doing was lowering the rear end down as low as it possibly can go, lowering the front end down as possibly go, drive all the way up to the front. And when we got to the front, he would start saving, start lifting, because he used up all his stuff trying to just get to the front. You see, this year, he sucks. I mean, I don't know if any Kevin Harvick fans in here, but right now he's not very good at any track.
He's trying to find what works.
Yes. Because now everybody that saw what he did last year is now doing that and finding more stuff. So here at this track, you do not want your rear end flat at all, as you don't. You're gonna burn those tires off like it's nothing, because you're taking all the drag out of the car possible. You're gonna have zero drag. That means when you go in that side of those corners, when you go in the corners, you're gonna be going there full blast, 100 and something miles an hour, and you're gonna wear those tires off probably 20 laps. You're gonna be bald. You're gonna have no turn when you get behind somebody. You're not gonna have any drive off the corner because you have so much downforce on the rear end that you're getting so much speed that you're basically wasting your tires, wasting your time, energy, and everything. Because you're gonna go out there, you're gonna be fast, but in iRacing, everybody has a different setup, so everyone's gonna have to try something differently. And maybe some people with the lower end, but they're not gonna last very long. What you have to do is the be good in iRacing, you have to outsmart everybody, because some of these guys are smart and they're gonna set their car up where it's perfect. Well, if you run a high rake in the rear end, you're not gonna carry as much speed, which is fine, perfectly fine. Who cares? Your lap times mean absolutely nothing at Kansas. Nothing. I just ran a 50 lap run and my highest lap was my highest lap? My average lap, 50 lap average lap time is 31.7. And my tires were, my front right was 67%, my left front was 94, my left rear was 89, and my right rear was 54. That's on a 50 lap run. It's a full.
Didn't mean to cut it there close, Barry.
Tank of gas. And
You're good.
my slowest lap time was 31.7. So now I'm running a high rear end, and it's very, very loose on the exit. It's very, very loose. But who cares? Well, shoot, you gotta remember. This is what I try to tell everybody. Some people listen, some people don't. Just finish. You're gonna get loose. What you don't want to be wrecking loose when you first start. But you don't want to be tight when you start. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, you want to be. You don't want to be wrecking loose. You want to be like middle loose. We'll back up. What I try to tell everybody is this: it's easier to fix a loose car than it is a tight car. A tight car is the hardest thing to fix. Hardest thing to fix, because if you start off tight, you're gonna get more tight because you're gonna be in traffic. Dirty air is gonna screw your front end up like it's nothing. What I've learned is when you're tight, your front end slides. Okay, you want the car to turn, right? You want the car to turn so much that you're gonna try all these different things. You're gonna slide the front end. Every time you slide the front end, you're burning off tires. And so, but when you're loose, it's easy to fix. Fixing a loose car is a cakewalk. Go up a couple things on the ballast and you're good. But when you get in traffic, you're going to be tight. So if you start your car off loose, it'll come to you in the longer run. That's why I never practice by myself. I never practice by myself because you're not going to know what your car's all about because you set it up a loose car, but you have no idea what's going to do when you get in the middle of a pack of 4 cars. And you can't pass anybody because your front end's sliding because you're so tight on exit and on entry. Like I told you earlier, run as much tape as if you're confident in yourself. We'll talk about that next. When you're confident,
Go ahead, Joseph.
you throw on a bunch of tape. Not like a ton, but throw on like 57, 58. That way you can't push. Okay, here's a rule of thumb. If you're tight and you're behind somebody, more tape loosens up your front end. More tape gives you more downforce. Here's the downside. Too much downforce will burn off your tires. Okay, that's a lot of people do not know that. More tape burns off your front end because you're gonna be going a lot faster. But if you're throwing a lot of tape where you're getting hot, you can't push. You can't draft with anybody. You can't do nothing. But guess what? When everybody else is getting tight, everybody else is slowing down, lifting in the corners, trying to get your car to rotate, guess what? You don't have to do that because what did you not do? You didn't push. You didn't push because why? Your car will get hot if you do. There's rule of thumbs. My game plan is that every single time I jump in the car is run as much tape as possible. I run the most tape I probably out of everybody. Remember the time, I don't know if you were in the league or not, remember the time we were at Atlanta and I whooped everybody, you know what? Killed everybody? I had on
Start looking for your sign.
probably 15% more tape than anybody else in the race. I was having to
5,
clutch it going in
4,
the corners first 20
3,
laps.
2,
Yeah.
So if
1.
you notice, I had the video.
Stop on the
I think.
sign.
If you notice, people would get to my bumper. That's because I was lifting. I was having to clutch it. And then after about 20, 25 laps, I blew away everybody. Because the temps are going to go down. Your track temp's going to go down. Your vehicle temp's going to go down. And then you're good, but you have so much tape on that your car's going to rotate a whole lot better because it's giving you more downforce.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I ran a higher rear end there too. The rear end was a little bit higher up in the air. So there's ways that make your car perfect. But you remember this also. Being fast means absolutely nothing. If you notice in all the SNL practicing,
There's
was
some
I ever the
damn
fastest?
field knowledge.
No, never was the fastest. Because being fast means absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, because you can go out there and set a fast lap time. But what did your car do on 20, 25 lap run, 30 lap run, 35 lap run, 50 lap run? What did your car do? Is your car going to go downhill because you ran the first 10 laps as fast as possible? Probably. But if your first 10 laps are medium, guess what? You're going to have a good longer run car. You never want to set up a short run car. Short run car will kill you because you're going to burn off all your stuff. You're going to have nothing left. Nothing. You want to set up a longer run car. That means ballast a little bit in the middle. You don't want it wrecking loose. You don't want it tight. Okay, you do not want it tight. Only way you want it tight is if you have 10 to go, caution comes out. You're going to jack your air pressures up all the way around 2 pounds. Every tire pressure, the left front, left rear, right front, right rear, jack them up 2 pounds. If you're pitting and you have a 10 to go and you have set tires left, jack the air pressure up, throw on some tape. So there's ways to be faster, and there's ways not to be faster. But like I said earlier, you want to outsmart everybody. And then I'll talk about this. The reason why I see a bunch of you struggle because you lose confidence. Okay, you lose confidence because you're not confident in the car. You're not confident in setup. You're not confident in race around people.
You go out there and practice around everybody, and you
Yes.
get that confidence. I mean, you have to be confident. Okay, you have to be confident in your car that your car is going to do what you need it to do. The cars will, but when a lot of people when they feel that first jolt coming in the corner, they flip out. And you see it all the time. Why? Because they don't understand what their car's doing. It might just be where the car is just getting a buffet from another car, is all it's caused from. and then they overreact, and then they're all over the place. That's normal with anytime somebody starts driving, they do the same thing. You got to expect your car to
It's
move
streaming.
around a
It's gonna
little bit.
save
If
it
you
as a
try
recording
to
anyway.
pin it in too much, then you're going to hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes yeah, go ahead.
Another thing is that anytime you get in a race, the first thing I do is this. I couldn't tonight because nobody was in here. And Neil, I recommend this to you, to everybody. I recommend this to everybody. When you jump in a race, the first thing I do is I watch the fastest car on the track for about 5 laps. Okay. I jump in their car, in-car camera, and I watch. Okay. You can jack the sound up. You can hear when people lift. I don't know if you know how to do this or not, but when you jump in somebody's car, hit the space bar button. It takes away all the
bullshit.
It takes all that away, and all you seeing is like you're inside the car in your own car. Hit the space bar button. Take your headset off. I have 7.1 surround sound around me, so I can take my headset off and I can hear the cars. So I take my headset off and I just listen. You can hear when people lift. You can hear when people are full throttle. You can hear when people brake. You can hear it all. Sit there and watch the fastest person. That's what I would recommend everyone to do when they jump in SNL. Watch the fastest people when jumping in Class A. Watch the fastest people. See what they're doing that you're not doing. You can pick up a ton of cheats. You can pick up a ton of I remember I was racing at Richmond a couple weeks ago, and I jumped on Casey Kerwin's Twitch stream. I don't know if you Casey Kerwin's Coca-Cola driver. He's the only driver that shows his in-car camera. Like he shows his stream, his in-car inside his car. And I learned that he was turning into the corner way early, but he's getting a massive run off the front stretch, like massive, because he was turning in so early, letting it rotate and then gassing it. He was sticking because he turned in so early. He wasn't carrying a lot of speed into on exit, in the middle and exit of the corner because he slowed down so much to turn. I learned that, and I did pretty good at Richmond. So you always want to pick up on people's traits, people's um, the way they're doing things, And also, there's another trick you can do. Okay, I learned this years probably when this package came out. I learned you can tell what everybody's setup is on the rear end. Okay, you can tell what everybody else is doing on the rear end. All you just go out there, get behind somebody, and look and see what the rear end is. If it's real high, you can see the gas tank. They're running a very, very high rear end. Okay, if their front end is the rear is low, that means they're running a low, like a low downforce type thing, where the front end is flat, the rear end is flat, and they're not gonna have as much rake. I mean, tire wear is gonna be massive for them. So that's how I know if I qualify fifth, well I can jump my car 2 minutes before it grids. I can look and see what everybody else is doing. Well, so and so on the pole has a lower rear end. Means probably he's gonna wear off in the first 20 laps. Second place car got a high rear end. He's gonna be slow at the start, which is cool. He's gonna be fast on a long run. See, there's traits you can pick up along the way. On the front end, who cares about the front end? I don't know if you know that everybody lowers their front end to the max. Some people don't. Some people do. Most people do. They want that rear end. I mean, that front end low as possible. So there's always traits to pick up from other people. Is it cheating? Nah, it's not cheating because I mean, you learn. But, there's ways to find things out. Also, do not be afraid. Okay. I know earlier I told you don't. I do not use VRS. I hate it. VRS is garbage. The worst thing you can start with is VRS because they make crap setups, but good qualifying setups. So anytime you want to qualify, you want to use their qualifying sets for the time being until next year, where next year's gonna be completely different because the new car comes out. But there's a website out there called OS. What is it? It's like OS.
Oh, old school racing.
OSR.
OSR.
Every week by Wednesday, there's multiple setups posted. Are they great? Nah, they're not great. Are they medium? Yes. Go to theirs, download a couple, compare their track bars. Okay. I downloaded one at Richmond because every time I started getting on the gas, before I watched Casey's stream, every time I got on the gas tube, my rear end was just kick every single time. I'm
Yeah.
like, why? Why is he kicking? I don't understand. Like everything is perfect. And I jumped down a couple of ends, and I noticed that their track bars were a little bit more closer together. I think the it was like 10 and 9 or something. 10 on the left, 9 on the right. And I tried that, stopped kicking completely. So you can go and download multiple setups. You want to try and get as many setups as you can, and look at them and say, okay, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Like you said earlier, your car has no speed. Well, that on the arm, the front the front ARB use Almin. So that's one of the reasons. Well, go download a couple of other setups and say, okay, what are they doing that I'm not? Okay, what compared? You're not gonna get any lap times. Remember, you're not gonna get any lap times. Who cares? You just want to look at where are their tire pressures, where are their track bars at, where are their cambers at, where are their rear cambers are at, where are their ride heights. You know, you want to learn as much as possible. Reason why I got good at making setups is because that's what I did. I went out and downloaded a ton of setups and said, well, what are they doing that I'm not? And the bad thing about though is this: OS whatever OS whatever,
Yeah.
it's free. All you just make an account. Make an account and go download the means you want. As long as your name matches, your iRacing name matches your account name, you know as much as you want. From previous years to now, but you gotta give it usually by Wednesday or Thursday. There's setups in there for this season. Now, I download them every once in a while. And I just compare, just compare, or you can use it as a base. I don't have to make a setup this week because my 100% team they made one, or they didn't make one. We're testing one as we speak. That's what I was doing a few minutes ago. Sometimes they don't make one. Then I make one and I share it, and then they tweak it themselves, and they make it however they want. But you gotta remember this also. Well, since I'm talking about tweaking, not everybody drives the same. Okay, you're gonna drive completely different than I drive. Okay, I'm gonna drive completely different than William does. His wife's gonna drive completely different as he does. Okay, you may think a set's tight, so and so may think it's loose. Just depends, That's the key thing. That's the key thing of making setups is that everybody's gonna drive it the same, but you want as many people as possible testing your setup because you want everyone's feedback. What do you think? What did you run on this? What was your 20 lap run? What was your 25 lap run? You want to know that stuff because you want to know what everyone else is doing, or if they're faster in my setup, go. I'll talk about that next. If someone is faster in your setup, which is fine, that means your setup was good. Also, that means you need to improve on certain areas of your racing. A lot of people got mad at me because you give me your setup, I'm gonna be probably a whole second faster than you are in it. That's just the way it is. But a lot of people got mad at me when I was in on a team a couple years ago because they give me a setup, I would run it and be a second and a half quicker than they are. That's when they learn not to share their setup with me because I'm gonna be a whole lot quicker than you are because I drive on the edge. When I feel like I need to drive on the edge, I drive on the edge. When I feel like I don't, like at 10s, I don't need to until after 10 laps. Then I don't until after 10 laps. So you have to gauge yourself on when to push and when not to push. You have to gauge yourself on when to share, when not to share. Last week I didn't share my updated data set because I found stuff. There's certain things you need to share, certain things you don't need to share. Just because you have a fast setup doesn't mean you have to share it to everybody. If you feel like it's fast, don't share it. If you feel like it needs work, share it. But don't ever hold anything from your team either. What I'm talking about sharing is don't share outside of your team. Big no. Don't ever share outside your team because that's when people will take your secrets and then one day you're going to jump in a race, have the fastest car, and someone else is going to join it that you shared the setup with. And they're going to be faster than you. You do not want that. Good thing about sharing setups is anytime anyone shares anything to me, I never use it because I'm probably going to be faster than whatever that setup is. But I mean, you really have to become confident in yourself. Always be open to share with your team. Okay. If you have 16 members, share them, ask them to run it for you. You want people to test your stuff because you want them to find out if you're good or if you're not good, or you may share that setup and they may say, hey, I made this change. I made that change. you're losing some tenths in the corner because this, losing some tenths on the straight because of this. And then you find out what they did, and that, you know what that means? I mean, you learn something. You learn something from the setup that you tweaked because you shared it with somebody, and they tweaked it a little bit more for you. And then guess what? You learned, you gained knowledge, and so you always want to gain as much knowledge as possible. And don't ever afraid to ask questions either. If someone doesn't want to answer your question, either it's a dumb question, which I usually tell you if it's a dumb question or not. That's just the type of person I am. No hurt feelings towards you, but that's just the way I am. I'm very, very blunt sometimes a little bit too much, people tell me. But you want to gain as much knowledge as possible on setups, period. The bad thing about it is, though, is that you came in at the wrong time to make setups. Completely wrong time to make setups. Let me tell you why. New cars coming out next year. Everything's going to change. Nothing's going to be the same next year. So you kind of came in at the wrong time of learning because all you got is what? 6 months left? 7 months left? And everything changes.
Yeah, but
completely different.
If I get the basics of how to figure out how to make setups, then next year I'll be on the same starting page as everybody else.
Yeah, next year's gonna be completely different. Completely different. You see the way now some cars are planted into the ground. Next year, nah, not gonna be like that. You're gonna have probably about probably gonna have half the downforce you have now. Probably gonna have a little bit more speed, probably.
It's
less
gonna be
downforce.
more like the Xfinity cars.
No, the Xfinity cars have zero downforce. Xfinity cars are all about handling and driving. No downforce whatsoever. That's why their package is a whole lot. That's why a lot of people like the Xfinity package a lot better than the Cup package because the Xfinity package has zero downforce. It's all about. You ever drove one on here?
Yeah.
Can you tell the big difference?
Yeah, I can tell.
There you go. It's not gonna be like that though. You're gonna have probably about half the downforce the Cup cars have now. Rear end is gonna be very, very unstable. A lot of people are gonna have to learn a whole lot more. What we do now probably will not help the car next year. Like now, the ballast. If you move the ballast back, it loosens the car. If you move it forward, it tightens it. Next year's gonna be completely different because you're not gaining more. You're not gaining downforce. You're gonna be losing some. And so another thing I want to tell you is, how old are you?
29.
Well, you have Steam?
Do what?
You have the app. You have the gaming app called Steam.
Oh yeah, I have Steam.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. Whenever you can afford it, I want you to go out and get F1 2020. Okay.
I think I have that on my Xbox actually.
Well, you want to do it on your wheel. Do it on your wheel. You know how about a year ago I started playing it. Okay. I play half distance. So if the race is 60 laps, I do 30. At all tracks, I do half distance. I became so much better at my technique, at my driving, on my braking points. Before, I sucked at short tracks. I was garbage at short tracks. The worst short track driver in the world. I hated them. I skipped those weeks. Every time I had a league race in the short track, I skipped it because I sucked so bad. Like, I ain't lying to you. I sucked so bad at short tracks. Started playing F1. Started learning how to turn in corners, braking points. Now, I love short tracks. Love them because I learned my techniques on how to turn, how to brake, the perfect in F1. I don't know if you can watch F1. In F1, you can only pass on certain areas of the track because you have overtake and you have DRS. DRS opens up when you're second up to a second and behind somebody. You can turn on DRS in different zones. So you can only pass people in certain tracks of the area because you're gonna catch them. Well, that's how I learned to pass so easier on iRacing because when you're in F1 2020, you can only pass in certain areas. And when you pass, you have to make the pass. You can't be hanging on somebody's rear end because you gassed it up in the corner. On F1, you can't do that. So I learned how to pass, learned how to turn, I learned how to gas, learned a ton of things on F1 2020 because on there you have to make your passes. Everything on there. Everything has to be perfect. And I learned so much. I drive now 100 times better than I did before, just because I learned so much. So it's crazy how things like that teach you more than you can ever learn in iRacing, because you're learning how to do the core things on iRacing is turning, braking, gassing. You can even set up your to change gears and stuff. I learned a whole lot better with that now too. I never miss a gear. Knock on wood. I never miss a shift. Because on iRacing, I mean on F1, you can't miss a shift. F1, you start off in neutral, and you have to get fast on the shifting. And so there's things out there that teach you how to become better at your craft. I'm not telling you to be the perfect racer. I'm not sitting there telling you to be the perfect racer. Nobody is. But there's things you can pick up on that'll make you better. It's called baby steps. Well, if you start in small steps, then one of these days you'll put it all together. And so I remember earlier in the year my teammates are kicking my butt at Homestead, kicking my butt, dude. I'm talking about kicking my butt. They were like 20 seconds ahead of me. Not even that. I'm getting passed up on dudes that buy the VRS sets and don't even touch them. They just jump in it and go. They were passing me left and right at Homestead. I was so pissed off, dude. So mad. So upset. 'Cause I'm like, why are these cats passing me? They're garbage. Their rating is like 1,000. Why? Mine's like 3. Why are they passing me for? I learned some things. I came back Sunday SNNL, whooped everybody's butt. Me and Jonathan whooped everybody's butt because I took some things, made some changes, learned how I was overdriving every corner possible. Came back the very next night and I think I got second. So when you get frustrated, go back and look at the tape. I save all my replays and also the 24-hour rule. Anytime you get upset or anything like that, 24 hours. Don't touch iRacing for 24 hours. Don't talk about iRacing for 24 hours. Walk away. Stay away from it. Relax, decompress, get your mind off things. You don't want to get burnt out. When you get burnt out, you're going to start overthinking things. When you start overthinking things, you're going to turn a great setup into a crappy setup because you're overthinking things. Okay? Don't ever get burnt out on iRacing. That's the worst thing possible you can possibly do. If you notice, some races I don't race, some races I do race. I have a rule: I don't race Monday nights unless it's special, like Dega. I raced every day last week at Dega. But you have to pick a date, pick a day. Mondays is my dates where I do not touch iRacing at all. Don't touch it. Walk away from it. Spend time with your family. Spend time playing games. Watch TV. Do whatever you gotta do, but don't touch it because you don't get burnt out. And plus, you don't want to be at work or something, and all you're thinking about is how can I make that car faster? How can I do this? How can I do that? No, you don't want that. That's gonna make you get burnt out. I used to race every day for like a whole year straight. I think I ran like 300 something races in one year. And then if you look last year, I only ran 200. I decided I'm not gonna push myself and get frustrated and get upset because that's all I'm thinking about 24/7 is racing, 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 and you're missing the joy of racing. Another thing I want to tell you is don't ever race. Don't ever make racing a job. Okay. Always enjoy racing. Always enjoy it. Always laugh. There is times to go off on people. Don't get me wrong. There are times that people need to be set straight. But always enjoy racing. Laugh. Listen to music. I don't know if anybody knows this. Anytime I race, I listen to music. Why? It calms me down. Um, don't ever make it a job. Enjoy it. Watch it. Okay. I watch races. I think I'm watching 2016 season now, so they're all on YouTube. I watched 2016 season, um, just because it's keeping yourself out of the cockpit in a race. Racing is on. You can race. I think there's a race every 2 hours on Class A. Doesn't mean you have to be there. Okay. Another thing I want to teach you is this: just because their session's up doesn't mean you have to join them. Okay. Just because their session's up does not mean you have to join them. There's times I'm very, very, very. I don't know if you guys know this either. I'm very, very close friends with Matthew Gaskins. Me and him are very, very close friends. He makes sessions all the time and tells me to join them. Ask him. I don't join them because you do not want to get burnt out. So just because there's someone posts a session doesn't mean you have to join it. So you want to Don't make it a job for one. Do not make it a job. Enjoy racing. Okay, watch it. I learned some stuff watching the NASCAR race sometimes. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. Just depends what track it is. But, you know, and another thing is try to watch someone when you join the session, try to watch them, learn, pick up tips. And you, I mean, not gonna lie to you, I mean, there's times where I wasn't in SNL. I did think you kind of overdrove the car at times. And I mean, at the time, I didn't really help you. At the time, I didn't really help a lot of people. Me and Matthew helped a ton. But now since I'm in the Discord with you, I mean, with you guys, I'll try and help you as much as possible. But one thing that I think I told William this a couple of weeks ago, I'll help you as much as I can, as long as you take the knowledge and you use it. The moment I see that you're not taking knowledge and you're not using it, I'm not going to help you anymore. That's the type of person I am. I'll give you all knowledge I know, as long as you use it. To the advantage to get better, get faster, and learn. Am I telling you that? Am I telling you to do everything I tell you to do? Probably not. Could we drive completely different? But I'll try my hardest to help you get your car faster, as long as you use the knowledge. If you tell me, hey, I didn't like the way that adjustment made, I'll tell you, hey, go back on it and try this one. There's different ways to loosen up a car or tighten up a car. There's different ways to do it. The easiest way to do it is the ballast. But I'm just here talking, and nobody else is saying nothing. So
I'm listening to you.
yeah. So I mean, there's so much more I could probably tell you. You know, the biggest thing to help me is playing F1 and not racing every single day. Don't race every single day. Do not race every single day.
Yeah, I think I should probably.
Just because there's an SNL practice up doesn't mean you have to do it. Doesn't mean you have to do it. Is it good to do it? Yes. But if you know you already have a good car, don't join it. You're gonna let everybody know what you have. You're gonna get everybody. Then you're gonna give everybody your lap times with the sit analyzer. Everybody's gonna know your lap times. You don't want that either. So if you know you have a good car, nah, I'm busy. I'm busy tonight. Sorry, I can't join it. Even though you're not busy, who cares? There's sometimes where you got a sandbag, Neil. There's sometimes you got a sandbag, and sandbagging is not bad.
I went into that race knowing that my car was gonna suck. I just wanted to see how much it sucked and like where I could improve it compared to other people, you know. But you're very much so right. The car is way too tight, so.
Yeah, I'm supposed to play. I'm in a Madden league with a bunch of other Christians and stuff. I met a long story short, I started playing ATS. That's one thing you need to get. Everybody needs to go get ATS. ATS is the most relaxing game you're ever played in your entire life. Oh,
What
you know what ATS? American Truck Simulator, man. Travel across.
Okay.
Oh my, it's the most relaxing game. It is. You sit back, hook up a load, pick a load, drive from New Mexico all the way up to Washington, like 2,000 miles. But it's not real life miles. It's probably quarter of the miles.
Me and Randy were talking about, okay, we sit there and get the truck simulator, and then we load up our haulers to wherever we're racing at. And then we have a little truck race to the race site.
It's the most relaxing thing, man. So one day I was on Facebook about 3 years ago. I was on Facebook and just looking at people streaming, and I met a guy called Big Tex. He's born and raised in Texas, and so am I. And so we started chit chatting, and he's playing ATS one night, and I was like, "What is this game?" And he told me it was ATS, so I bought it. Been playing it ever since. So he made a Madden league about 2 months ago, and I joined it. And I'm an admin in there, so I'm supposed to play a Madden game tonight. And I'm sitting here chit chatting with you guys. The guy just texted me and said, "Are you gonna get on?" I was like, "Ah, sorry." Sent him chit chatting about racing. and so I gotta be on in 15 minutes. So
yeah.
that's the most relaxing thing ever, dude. Is playing ATS. Oh, it's most relaxing. You put music on, you just ride, man. You ain't competitive. You ain't racing nobody. You ain't doing nothing. It is just so relaxing, calming, and plus, if you have a good computer, the graphics are amazing. Like we went up to Washington a couple weeks ago, and it was just so beautiful, so beautiful.
I have European Truck Simulator, but I've been thinking about getting the American Truck Simulator. The only reason I have European one is my wife got it in a Humble Bundle.
Oh yeah, I've never played the Euro one. Never played it before, but they came out with a mod. See, there's a thing called Truckers MP. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not. You can play online with other people.
Yeah.
Like you're really online. You can play with other people, talk to them, the CB radios and everything. And so they came up with a mod on there from a Canada mod. We can go and drive up to Canada. It's not the whole Canada, but I think it's about 4 cities, 5 cities. And so they get that. So I go from New Mexico all the way up to Canada. And they came out with a snow mod where it was snowing the entire time, all around the maps. Every state it was snowing. And so it was so beautiful. So beautiful. And so I get on there sometimes and just decompress, you know. It's good to always decompress. It's always to play other games also. It's always good to play something other than racing. I'm probably gonna. I can't play tonight. I can't.
Well, I gotta buy it. I gotta wait till
yeah.
Tomorrow
And
night,
then,
I believe I get paid.
and then tomorrow night at NIS. Thursday night's the draft. I'm watching the draft Thursday night.
Yeah.
Doing a Facebook video chat with a bunch of friends back home. Friday night's NIS. Saturday night is 100% league, so it's always something to do.
Oh yeah.
But Neil, I hope I at least taught you something. I know it's a lot to take in, but
Yeah.
don't ever be afraid. Don't ever be afraid to ask.
Thank you. I appreciate you telling me all this stuff. I will do my best to implement it.
Here's the good part about it. You're in SNNL, right? Part of the shittiest league on iRacing. Okay. That's just a blatant truth. Am I lying?
No.
Okay. The shittiest league on there. You should be running top 10 every single race, no matter where it's at. No matter where it's at, you should be running top 10 because there's not a lot of talent in there. So, if you take what I'm giving you, the knowledge, you'll learn and you'll become better. You'll be running top 10 there. It's not easy. It's not hard to run top 10 in there.
Yeah, there's been a few times that I was running top 10, but
in my 100% league, you probably be running dead last in there. That is no joke. You should watch. They don't stream all the races. They only stream certain races because another league shut down, and they invited a bunch of people a bunch of people asked to join 100% league. We had like 30 cautions at Martinsville, so ever since then they've been punishing people. So in there, it's like real life NASCAR. If you do certain things, you are suspended. If you do a certain amount of points towards your license, they actually revoke your NASCAR license. We had 3 people get their license revoked in the last 3 weeks.
damn.
We got Coke sets in there. And so when a Coke team races on Tuesday nights, they have the Coke sets. So when that happens, that means we're not winning this week. We're not going to win this week because they have Coke sets. And they're a whole lot faster than we are.
Well, I'm gonna go eat real quick. I'll be back on in a little bit.
Yep, I gotta go play my Madden game.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. I'll be back on in a little while, dear Neil.
Okay, I'm fixing to run in this truck race real quick.
We can do a fun one. Just drive to whatever you have that we can.
Oh, I'm doing this truck league race real quick.
Yeah, that's no worries. I won't. I'm just gonna try to get Randy a call for a while.
Is Randy still doing the trucks? Because I thought last time he said he was quitting the trucks, but I don't remember if he did or not.
I believe he is because he's not on right now. So we'll see what happens. But I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, brother?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to just mute my mic. It does not happen.
I couldn't understand anything he just said at the end there. Well, this truck race is fixing to start, Dad, if you want to watch this one too. This one I'll use a setup that I didn't build myself, so maybe I'll have a little bit better of a shot. But, yeah, this says about 20 minutes this practice session will be over and the race will start. So I figure I'll just leave it streaming. You neither what? That said that I hit him. Okay, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette here in a minute myself anyway. I need to make a "we'll be right back" scene for my stream. Oh, okay.
3.
Okay. In here just in time for qualifying. Let's see what we can do. Got a black flag, so I'm gonna go ahead and reset it before I end up having to go across the line. So now I have not lost one of my qualifying laps yet. Give me just a second. Let me finish qualifying real quick. Qualified fifth. Oh, some dude whining about losing his girlfriend. Yeah, I don't think that was him. Alright, let me check this real quick. Okay. Alright. Should I go ahead and put... I'll put a relative in there too. Well, I'll probably use a relative. So you won't need it. Which one? This one? Yeah, I haven't worked on graphic stuff in a day or two. I'll probably have to work on that tomorrow sometime.
Radio check. Radio check. I got you.
Oh, sorry. Kept changing it. I was trying to make sure everything was working right, and I was going to add a relative for you, but I'm going to be using relative on my black box because it's more accurate than the other relatives, so... What was I doing? There's a sound that plays whenever I do that, whenever I change it. I didn't know there was a sound. I can't hear the sound anyway whenever I change it. Or are you talking about the one that I made? Oh, okay. Did I ever send you the one that looked like a TV intro? I think I sent it to you and you couldn't view it for some reason. Jen said she couldn't view it on her phone either. I don't know why. Okay, I got about 30 seconds. I suppose I can do it again. I'm just gonna keep doing it until you tell me to stop because you got it, or until it's time for me to get to grid up.
That's the end of the session. 8th place.
I have no idea what you're talking about. You like this better?
Lawrence.
We're gridded up, so I don't have time
Good
anyway.
look, everybody.
I can do that. I'll watch it.
All right, guys, fourth race of the truck season. Thanks everyone for being here. I know we've got a few other team owners in here. If any of y'all will, help me and Chris with anything you see on the track. We don't have anybody dedicated not racing. But let's go out and have a clean, fun race.
May AT&T bless us with a tolerable race.
Amen.
And all God's children said amen.
Amen.
The air temp is 78
Come on, Barry,
Fahrenheit.
where's
The
your
track temp
amen? We're
is
laughing with
82
you this time,
Fahrenheit.
brother, not at you.
What were you talking about when you said I eventually saw it when I went outside?
Follow car number 9.
Donnie, we always seem to find each other on the track.
Yeah, but you know what? It seems like it's always good things when we do, so I ain't even complaining.
That's for sure.
Good luck, bud.
Good luck, man.
We going on green this time, right? Not like 3 seconds afterwards.
Chris, how come every time I look in my mirror, they're
Okay,
next to
Neil,
me?
be ready.
You're there.
I don't know. It just seems to be that way lately.
Green, green, green.
And then you got Ed behind you.
Inside. Hold your line, still there. Hold your line. Still there. Still there. Still there. Still there. Still there, still there. Holt is now in the lead. Clear down low. E9.
Ooh, that was close. Oh, okay. I totally forgot that I asked you that question.
The leader's just done a 31.3. The guy behind has just done a 31.7.
Kind of hectic up here.
That's the fastest lap. The car ahead has just done a 31.5. The guy behind has just done a 31.4.
Old Damon in front of me.
P9.
Got a car to your outside. Hold your line.
P8.
Your line. Still there. Still there. Hold your line.
All right, Neil, you want to watch your water temperature. It's looking a little high.
Still there. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. Still
Damn.
there. Clear up top.
Damon has improved a lot since the last time I raced against him.
The guy in front is
outside. You there. Clear outside.
P7. Your water and your oil are both looking pretty hot right now. Try and take it easy.
Outside, outside. Still there, still there. Still there. Your line. Still there. Still there. Still there.
P8.
Hold your line. Clear outside.
I didn't even get the part that close, Brian.
No, you're fine. It looked like Arrow pulled us together, actually.
I don't normally run that shoulder, so that was probably part of it also.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to jump on the curb anymore unless I'm trying to get around somebody, because that eats your tires up.
That lap time was 32.0.
Good, guys.
I'm burning up.
Oh, I got you. Took me a second.
Alright, save
That
my
lap time was
tires.
32.0.
Oh, Lauren's catching up to me.
Outside, outside. Clear up top.
Seventh position. That was 32.0.
Had a little moment behind me there. got a little sideways, but
Your
he
lap
caught
time
it.
was at 32.2.
Now I got a little bit of breathing room.
You're pulling away. The gap behind is now 0.9. The gap in front is increasing. It's now 1.7. P7.
Go ahead.
That lap was at 32.3. Okay, Neil, your lap times are pretty consistent. The gap to Jones behind is now 0.9. That was a 32.3. You're gaining on this guy. The gap's now 1.1. You've just done a 32.3.
I'm running 7th right now.
That last lap was a 32.4. The gap in front is now 0.7.
I probably used a little bit too much tire that corner.
Your lap times are pretty consistent. That lap was a 32.6.
Ooh, the rear end almost stepped out from me there.
You've just done a 32.5. The gap in front is now 0.8.
Tires are starting to go. The rears, at least, feel
Your
like
last lap time was a 32.6.
Oh no!
I didn't expect that type of runoff off the top.
That lap was a 33.1.
Oh, I've only got 9 laps of fuel left anyway. Front stretch, front stretch.
The guy behind's reeling you in. The gap's now 0.5, P6.
Well, there's a position.
That scared the Jesus out of me. I mean, Ross.
The gap in front has increased to 2.1 seconds.
Sure, I'll live.
Josh Ward is behind me.
You've just done a 33.0.
He's one of the broadcasters for the car league, or he used to be. I don't know if he is anymore.
Pitting this time.
Okay, Neil, you've got about 4 laps of fuel left. You've just done a 33.1. That's good consistency, keep it up. Ward is getting closer. The gap's now 1.1. Three laps of fuel remaining.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh, Josh is right on my butt.
One coming back in the track, boys. One coming back in the track.
Got a full course caution, watch out.
Well, that worked out
Pace car's
good.
out. Line up single file behind car number 28. The pace car is out. Pits are closed. 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Catch up 24. Says you're supposed to be in front of me.
Pits are open.
Thank you.
You're welcome, bud. You're welcome, bud.
Well, it looked like you were a part of it, Derek, but anybody want to call out what happened?
Okay, Neil, your engine temperatures are okay. All clear on engine temperatures. 1 gallon remaining. The leader, Holt, is pitting. Pit lane speed limit is 45 miles per hour. We'll need to stop again to get to the end.
How you doing, Derek?
Start looking for your sign. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop on the sign.
For some reason Derek can't hear y'all, but he said that he got spun. Don't know about it, but he was fine. Just looking on the broadcast, it looks like a 1 got him.
Well, I got around. I'm still around Josh. Josh didn't get around me.
Full course yellow. Pits are open.
Checking up straight away.
Right. I don't think there's a lot of people that hit it under green. There was maybe 2 or 3, I think.
What happened to you, Donnie?
I caught the wall, and then I had help catching the wall a second time.
Oh, damn, got you.
And it's all good, man. I'm just going to start racing people the way they race me.
Full course yellow. Pits are open.
Sometimes that's what you gotta do.
I gotta be aggressive
Race
on
cars
the
in this
start.
lap.
Aggressive on the start, and then I can settle back. What is he doing?
Were we ever, Kavaja?
What's that?
I said, were we ever?
Don't think so. Be ready.
Green, green, green. Let's go. P5.
Outside. Hold your line. Outside clear.
Record on the back, record on the back.
Full course caution, be careful.
Yep, that was me. I'm sorry.
Next car is out.
I'll
Line
take
up
the
single
blame
file
for that
behind
one.
car number 41.
I am so sorry,
We're under
Alan.
caution. It's closed.
Did you stay up that wall, Alan?
Well, no.
We think we'll need to stop again.
It happens, man. No biggie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I expected you to be a little bit higher, but that was my fault, not your fault.
You had me faked out there for a second.
Holt is now leading.
Not at all.
The car ahead's pitting now.
I was thinking hard about doing it, but track position. Lucky dog, hi, lucky dog.
Well,
There you
I
go.
think
Run
I'm
that run
done
right
racing
there.
for tonight. Alright, I'll catch you later.